The following is a presentation of RMG Sports, award-winning championship television.
For over 3 decades, the EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta has been the largest summer event in the Steel City. From music to daredevils to fun in the sun, the regatta is a summertime tradition for hundreds of thousands from throughout the region. Now, Powerboat Superleague returns to Steel Town and the rough waters of the Allegheny River this year to crown the North American champion. Powerboat Superleague racing in Pittsburgh starts now. If it's Independence Day in Pittsburgh, you know it's time for the regatta. And we welcome you to the north shore of the Allegheny River here in my hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as the EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta has, for the 33rd year, taken over the Golden Triangle with its many events, attractions, and, of course, Powerboat Superleague racing. Hello again, everyone. Jared Romsberg here, proud to be with you once again. Just like last year, both series of racing from Powerboat Superleague are here in the Berg. Let's take a look at what happened in last year's Formula 3 feature. The defending series champ 80, Brent Dillard, was the top qualifier, and his bright orange boat shot out from the pole with the lead. It was looking like he was going to run away with it, but with just 6 laps remaining, Chip Wavero blew his boat over under the Fort Duquesne Bridge and forced a restart. All eyes were on the vibrant thing as Dillard once again took off with the lead and earned his first victory in Pittsburgh. My broadcast partner Mike Tilton has caught up with our defending F3 race winner in the pits. Mike.
Jared, last year Brent Dillard qualified number 1, ran away with the final event. Brent, what you going to do this year? We got rough water again, but also a little bit new wrinkle in the competition. Unprecedented 3 female drivers chasing you around the race course.
Oh yeah, we'll always have Carol. She's a very experienced driver. She's going to be really good. We got Yvonne from Germany. She's going to be really good. And also Tammy. And I've heard Tammy is running really good this year, so definitely have to watch out for her.
Well, back to you, Jared.
Thanks, Mike. In 2009, the hundreds of thousands of fans who were here in Pittsburgh for the Formula 2 feature race saw one of the most fantastic races in both regatta and Super League history. Mark Jacob and the Red 7 boat had the lead with just 8 laps to go. But the Silver 34 of Jeff Reno lived up to his nickname. The Jet came from the last place slot and passed the eventual series champion and went on to take the Formula 2 trophy in Pittsburgh. Mike Tilton is standing by with the Jet. Mike.
Thanks, Jared. Standing here with Jeff Reno, defending champion at the EQT Three Rivers Regatta. And Jeff, last year from last to first, wowed the crowd. What do you have in store for him here in 2010?
Well, last year I didn't qualify because I had some problems with the boat, and already this year I'm having problems with the boat. So no electrical power this year. So we're working on that right now diligently, and I'm planning on going out and kicking everybody's rear end like we did last year. But there's some new competitors here this year, so it might be a little bit more testy, and we'll see what we can do.
Good luck, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Race fans, it's time to grab a seat. Our coverage of Powerboat Superleague racing here at the 2010 EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta begins right after this.
The 2010 EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta's presentation of Powerboat Superleague racing is brought to you by EQT, where energy meets innovation. Rivers Casino, table games are here. By ISM USA, a national leader in sports, event, and cause marketing. And by La Roche College, learning that brings your world together. This segment of Powerboat Superleague racing is brought to you by EQT, where energy meets innovation.
Welcome back to Powerboat Superleague racing at the 2010 EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta. As with any of the events on the Powerboat Superleague schedule, our racing is just one of the many attractions you'll find on hand. Here in Pittsburgh, the Three Rivers Regatta has always been a family event, and one of the most popular events for the kids is the Frisbee Dog Show. These canine cuties take to the air showing off their agility, and that brought smiles to thousands of faces, young and old, this year. If they were looking for a way to blow off some steam, kids could go over to the Colcom Foundation Kids Zone. There they found plenty of free shows and inflatable fun where they could burn off some energy over the beautiful summer weekend. Back on the water, it wasn't just Powerboat Superleague taking to the Allegheny. The annual Anything That Floats race was in full effect. Here, groups from around the region and from throughout the Federation of Planets were on hand trying to stay afloat and ahead of the competition. Some were more successful than others, while all had a great time. And there was even more racing at the regatta. The Dragon boats were back. Each of these colorful boats has a 22-person crew, 20 rowers, a drummer, and a person steering. This year they were 3 abreast heading up and down the Allegheny from PNC Park to the Point, and were a fun, colorful addition to the waterborne entertainment schedule. But now let's go from 20-person power boats to 85 horsepower boats. It's time for Powerboat Superleague Formula 3 qualifying. After the time trials, Mike Hooper in the Black Magic 52 earned the pole for the first of 2 heat races. But it was ladies first as the Pink 8 boat of Tammy Wolf-Jacob emerged from the first turns as the leader, with Hooper following behind. Tammy had little time to enjoy the lead as Mike Hooper took advantage of a misstep by the Pink 8 and flew to the front. A few laps later, last year's race winner Brent Dillard hit turns 1 and 2 perfectly and moved Wolf-Jacob back to third. But no one could catch Black Magic, and 52, Mike Hooper, earned the victory in the first 10-lap heat. In heat number 2, the inverted field had Toby Hood from McConnellstown, PA, on the pole. But the vibrant thing, Brent Dillard, exploded off of the dock as the field came 3 wide onto the course. The fight went all the way to turn 3, and 16, Carol Reno emerged with the lead. She held the inside line as long as she could, but Dillard had the horsepower to get by. He hit the gas and used some lap traffic to scrape Carol off and move her to second. Shortly thereafter, Mike Hooper got by Reno down the backstretch and set his sights on that orange 80 boat in the lead. But Dillard built up a huge lead and went on to win the second heat race. So with qualifying complete, let's meet the field's top 3 starters for the Formula 3 North American Championship here at the 2010 EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta. Starting in the 3rd place slot is Clifton, Illinois' Tammy Wolf-Jacob. A Canadian by birth, she's excited to see so many ladies in the F3 field in Pittsburgh.
Carol has raced forever with me, and I'm in awe of her, and I'm her biggest fan. And we are so thankful to have Yvonne here from Germany. We are honored that she came to Pittsburgh because it's one of the best places to race. I am so thankful to have some ladies out there with me, and I'm cheering them on as they are cheering me on, and hopefully we'll get on that podium.
In the 2nd place slot, we find our defending North American champ, Mike Hooper. He has a very simple formula for success.
Just make sure that boat comes off that dock nice and smooth and clean, and it starts good, and hopefully get to that pin first and hold first place for those 20 laps and come out on top again.
And on the pole, our 2009 winner in Pittsburgh, 80 Brent Dillard. He's starting first, but he knows what kind of competition has him in their crosshairs.
It would be sweet to win an APR race and a North American Championship, but it's not going to be easy. There's a lot of boats here running good. Mike Hooper, Tammy Wolf, Carol's running good. And they gave me a scare those first 2 10-lap qualifiers. First heat, I didn't get off the dock well. Tammy and Mike jumped out in front of me. And I was able to catch Tammy, but Mike beat me. And then the second heat, I finally caught Carol. So they had to do it on time, and I guess I barely beat Mike out.
Now, here's the rest of the field for the Formula 3 North American Championship. A veteran Canadian driver now living in Florida, Carol Reno, will be in the 4th slot. The Monster Energy Drinks boat of Dan Bunting from Columbus, Ohio starts 5th. The lone Pennsylvanian Toby Hood from McConnellstown is in the 6th place slot. Powerboat Superleague rookie Dana Toms from Huntington, West Virginia qualified 7th. All the way from Dresden, Germany, our European champion Yvonne Koenig qualified 8th. And qualifying in the final spot is Sparta, Georgia's Chip Wavero. All right, gang, we're getting boats in the water. We've got Powerboat Superleague's Formula 3 feature race from the EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta coming up. Don't move.
This segment of Powerboat Super League Racing is brought to you by La Roche College, learning that brings your world together.
Welcome back to Pittsburgh as our coverage of Powerboat Super League Racing at the 2010 EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta continues, and the fans continue to pour into the city and to the North Shore for all of the regatta events, especially Powerboat Super League F3 Racing. Let's take a look at how they're going to line up for the race. In the catbird seat on the pole, the guy who won here last year, Brent Dillard. But right next to him, our defending North American champion, Mike Hooper. Tammy Wolf-Jacob, Carol Reno, and Dan Bunting round out the top 5. We now go dockside, seconds before the race. This is the calm before the storm, waiting for the green flag to fly, and it does. And Powerboat Super League, once again, is underway in Pittsburgh. The fleet of Formula 3 boats flies onto the course as Brent Dillard leads them to the commitment buoy. Right on board with Carol Reno and now Mike Hooper as they pass under the Fort Duquesne Bridge and fly into turn 3. There's your leader, Brent Dillard. He's picking up right where he left off, and Tammy Wolf-Jacob has moved alongside of Mike Hooper for second. Our defending North American champion is under assault by that pink 8-boat as Tammy Wolf-Jacob shows some serious horsepower, and she's battling for second early in the race. Side by side, they come under the bridge, and Tammy Wolf-Jacob is going to hold second place as they start lap 1 of 20 here in Pittsburgh. But whoa, she goes way wide out of turn 2, and here comes the magic man, Mike Hooper, back into second place. Just like that, race fans in the blink of an eye. But whoa, Tammy Wolf-Jacob says, no sir, I'm not giving up. She rides back out on the outside, and she's ready to challenge our North American champion once again for position. Brent Dillard moves ahead, but they go side by side again out of turn 4. Fans on the North Shore getting a special treat early in the race as both boats lift their noses way high in the water, and they go side by side again across the start-finish line. Second place position. This time it goes to Mike Hooper. He holds that coveted territory, that inside line of any oval, and he takes off with the position with Tammy Wolf-Jacob after a hard-fought battle, right now settling into third. Now as Mike Hooper moves ahead and solidifies his position in second, we catch up with our leader, the vibrant thing, Brent Dillard out of South Carolina. If you're a fan of boat racing here in Pittsburgh, race fans, you know this young man very well. He's your defending race winner. And look at him skip across the top of the water, speeds in excess of 85 miles an hour, and he's trying to check out early. He's very familiar with these waters in Pittsburgh, knows how rough they are, and he wants to take advantage of it while it's still reasonably smooth. There's our second place driver, Mike Hooper, your defending North American champion. Goes by the nickname of the Magic Man, driving Black Magic. Hooper finished second behind Dillard in Championship Series points last year for the Formula 3s and Powerboat Super League. And he's struggling here early, trying to catch up to the vibrant thing as that orange 80 boat checks out. There's the leader right now heading into turn 1. You can see the distance he's putting between himself and the rest of the field. There's second place Mike Hooper now leading into turn 1. And Tammy Wolf-Jacob, after a spirited run for second, she's now in third. Skipping crossbar. Whoa, had a little bit of trouble coming out of turn 2. And she's got to be careful because behind her is the 16 boat of Carol Reno, a veteran driver. She'll pounce right on that opportunity. Tammy Wolf-Jacob was the buzz in the pits, heavy on her this weekend. She is coming out strong. Everybody said watch for her in qualifying, and she did not disappoint. Riding along now with Carol Reno, and boy, you can see how they fight to keep these boats going in a straight line as they fly under the Fort Duquesne Bridge. Carol's currently in fourth. And whoa, she lifts the boat up out of the water a little bit as they go through turns 1 and 2. Carol Reno, the first ever recipient of Powerboat Super League's Iron Woman Award. She raced 30 consecutive races with Powerboat Super League and earned that coveted title. Veteran driver, she's been in the top 10 in points every year since joining Powerboat Super League in 1998. She's off to a good run again today. Catching up with our fifth place driver now is Chip Wavero from Sparta, Georgia. Race fans in Pittsburgh are familiar with this guy, or maybe at least the bottom of his boat, because last year in the race, he blew over right about there, causing the caution to come out with 6 laps to go in the race, and taking himself out of the race as well. Looks like he's got that boat back into shape, and it's good to see him back out on the water. As he leaves turn 2 and heads down the backstretch, putting his foot back in the throttle, lifting the boat up out of the water. As we catch up to our leader, and guys, he's already going into turn 1 himself, and now 2 has a little bit of trouble out of 2, but I tell you what, I think he could stop the boat and restart it. He's got such a lead over the field right now Another dominating performance from the vibrant thing, Brent Dillard. And oh no, second place, Mike Cooper, our defending North American champions, out of the race. They're saying he has engine trouble, so Tammy Wolf-Jacob now moves into the second place spot, but Carol Reno is trying to move on the inside. Tammy Wolf-Jacob wisely moves to the inside, sends some spray towards Carol, and takes that inside line as they head into turn 3. No time to waste for Tammy Wolf-Jacob as she goes through turns 3. Whoa, has trouble in turn 4. Let's see if Carol Reno can take advantage. Carol Reno shoots out to the outside, tries to use the clean water, but once again, that pink 8-boat, whatever they did in the off-season, she's got the horsepower to be in contention as she pulls away from Carol Reno. And now Tammy Wolf-Jacob into turn 1, and she shoots high into turn 1. Carol Reno moves to the inside, and now out of 2. They're side by side, but Carol Reno moves into second, leaving Tammy Wolf-Jacob in third. Tammy Wolf-Jacob has the power down the straightaways, but she hits the turn and she's had some trouble. She moves back to within 2 boat lengths, but Carol Reno has that inside line, back on the throttle. Tammy Wolf-Jacob spins in turn 4. Tammy Wolf-Jacob in that pink 8-boat spun in turn 4, but they had enough lead that she was able to get back going. Meanwhile, there's your leader, Brent Dillard. He's way out in front. We're going to have to take a break. Brent Dillard continues to lead, but we've got plenty of racing left. More from Pittsburgh right after these words.
This segment of Powerboat Superleague Racing is brought to you by the American Powerboat Association. Learn more at apba-racing.com.
Welcome back to Powerboat Superleague Racing here at the 2010 EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta. We catch up with our leader now, Brent Dillard, in that bright orange 80 boat. Absolutely dominating this weekend, guys. He was the fastest qualifier, earning the pole position, shot off the dock in first, put the pedal to the metal, and has not looked back. He has lapped boat after boat, on his way to what he hopes is his second win in a row in Pittsburgh and his second North American Championship title. Now we catch up with the lone Pennsylvanian in the fleet, Toby Hood. The number 64 boat is out of McConnellstown, Pennsylvania, up around Altoona in the Racetown Lake area. Toby is our 2008 Rookie of the Year, but it looks like that new boat is still giving him some fits. He's having a hard time getting it dialed in this week. He qualified a disappointing 6th off the dock, and now rides in 7th. I think he was hoping for a little bit more out of that boat and his performance here in Pittsburgh, since this is his hometown race. Now we catch up with the Monster Man, driver of the Monster Energy Drinks boat, Dan Bunting, out of Columbus, Ohio. Consistently voted one of the best looking boats in the fleet. That Monster Energy Drinks boat is currently running 5th. Dan Bunting, a 3rd-year driver out of the Columbus, Ohio area, looking for a career day here in Pittsburgh, running well on the Allegheny. Now he has to contend with the 2nd place boat of Carol Reno. As we hop on board with her, boy, you can see she runs an open cockpit boat, gang. All that spray going right into her face, and yet she still manages to maintain control of that boat, fly through the turns, and now back on the front stretch. Carol Reno is part of 2 husband-wife teams we have on the circuit with us. Her husband is familiar to Powerboat Superleague racing fans here in Pittsburgh. Her husband is Jeff the Jet Reno, who won the Formula 2 feature here last year. The other couple, Tammy Wolf-Jacob in that pink 8 boat, currently riding in 3rd. Her husband, Mark Jacob, is our defending series champion in the Red 7 in the Formula 2 ranks. So always good to see families out here. Once again, picking up with our leader all the way in turn 1 and 2, and he's putting our 3rd place boat, Tammy Wolf-Jacob, a lap down. Ladies and gentlemen, Brent Dillard has lapped all but one of the boats in the fleet today. Again, the word dominating doesn't even come close to describing his efforts here today in Pittsburgh. Now we catch up with one of the 2 rookies in the fleet today, the number 75 boat of Dana Toms. Racing out of Huntington, West Virginia, Dana's boat colors and numbers signify and represent the 75 members and fans of the football team from Marshall killed in a plane crash back on November 14th, 1970. Great to see him in the fleet. And right behind him, great to see the European champion in the fleet today, Yvonne Koenig, and we caught up with her to get her comments about the rough waters of the Allegheny here in Pittsburgh.
A little bit rough. It's really heavy to drive here. I have never seen so rough river in Germany. So for me it's very, very difficult because I never driven this kind of boat before.
Well, thanks, Yvonne. Hope you had a good time here in Pittsburgh, and I hope you learned something from this guy. Brent Dillard is on the final lap. White flag is in the air, and our defending series champion is starting off right where he left off in last year with a win here in Pittsburgh. One more time through turns 3 and 4, and back on the front stretch. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Your winner again in Pittsburgh, the vibrant thing from Dalzell, South Carolina, Brent Dillard. And wrapping up a historic podium, second place, Carol Reno. Third place, Tammy Wolf-Jacob. And for the first time in Powerboat Superleague history, 2 females on the podium. We'll have the historic podium ceremony when we come back to Pittsburgh, right after this.
This segment of Powerboat Superleague Racing is brought to you by SuperLeagueMedia.com. Get DVDs of this show and more at SuperLeagueMedia.com.
Welcome back to Pittsburgh and our Formula 3 post-race show, where just a few moments ago Brent Dillard grabbed the checkered flag and did his victory lap as winner in Pittsburgh and new North American champion. Mike Tilton caught up with an elated third-place finisher. Mike.
Tammy Wolf-Jacob, 5 years racing on the Super League Tour here at the EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta. Not only you, but 2 ladies on the podium. Third place has got to feel real good.
Oh, it feels awesome. I was racing and Carol got by me and she definitely outraced me, and I am just honored that Carol Reno finished second, and it's a great feeling, and I'm sure that we're going to be celebrating tonight.
Thanks, guys. There's a look at the historic finish. Brent Dillard is in first with, for the first time, 2 ladies on the podium. Mike's caught up with our historic second place finisher.
Carol Reno, second place here at the North American Championships. 2 ladies on the podium for the first time in Super League history. You got to be one happy camper.
Oh, I really am one happy camper. Me and Tammy's been looking for this for 5 years, ever since she's joined APR, and I kept telling her one day me and you will be on the podium. Here we are.
As we take a look at the championship points for the F3 Series, Brent Dillard is on his way to his 3rd Series championship, but the season is just starting. Here's the man of the hour with Mike.
Thanks, Jared. Standing here with the brand new 2010 North American champion, Brent Dillard. Not only do you go home North American champion, but a 2-time EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta champion. You got to feel good about that.
Oh yeah, it feels real good to win here at Pittsburgh with the rough water. Very challenging course.
Well, I tell you what, 2 ladies on the podium with you, that's got to feel good too.
Oh yeah, it feels real good, but I couldn't let 2 girls beat me.
Well, congratulations, young man. Ladies and gentlemen, there's the brand new 2010 North American champion, Brent the Vibrant Thing Dillard.
Thanks, guys. Hey, we're only halfway done, race fans. We still have Formula 2 racing and so much more, as our coverage of Powerboat Superleague Racing at the 2010 EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta continues right after this.
This segment of Powerboat Superleague Racing is brought to you by ISM USA, a national leader in sports, event, and cause marketing.
Welcome back to the Steel City as our coverage of Powerboat Superleague Racing at the 2010 EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta continues. Our racing is just one of the many events that bring hundreds of thousands of people to downtown Pittsburgh for the regatta every year. 8-time national champion bike king Mike Steadley was back to wow the fans in Point State Park with his amazing 2-wheel tricks and stunts. If you like your 2 wheels with a motor attached, no problem. The TNT Freestyle Motocross team was back. They wowed the thousands on the North Shore with their aerial acrobatics all weekend long. And talk about aerial acrobatics, get a load of these guys. The Red Bull Air Force dropped into Pittsburgh and took the excitement from on the land and water and took it to over 1,000 feet into the sky. The jumpers landed safely around the Golden Triangle and added even more excitement to an outstanding weekend of powerboat racing.
Well, as you know, Pittsburgh is a powerboat haven. We love the powerboats, and it's great to have you guys back here, faster and more powerful than ever. The crowd loves it. We expect between 300,000 to 500,000 just here for this last run. I just left the Rivers Casino Amphitheater. There's about 2,000 to 3,000 people enjoying Beatlemania. And if you'd close your eyes and just listen to the sound, you'd think they're back. And it's just spectacular. It's just been one good thing after another. 20 to 30 bands over in Point State Park. Last evening we had Craig Morgan, an up-and-comer country music singer. So it's been absolutely fantastic. We couldn't ask for better weather, and we couldn't ask for a better friendship than with you folks with the Powerboat Circuit.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's great to be back. Now let's get to the F2 qualifying. Heat Race 1 saw Terry Rinker in the yellow 10 go toe-to-toe with Donnie McDowell at the hole shot. Rinker moved ahead with the lead while last year's Pittsburgh winner Jeff Reno moved around McDowell for second. While the Jet tried to catch up to Rinker, rookie Jimmy Merleau in the Granger Chevrolet boat snuck up to spoil his party. Then he really spoiled Rinker's party as Merleau moved to the inside line and put the Amsoil boat into second. The 69 dropped the hammer and Jimmy Merleau went on to take the checkered flag in the first F2 heat race. In Heat Race 2, it was our defending champ Mark Jacob leading the pack onto the course. As they came out of turn 4, Jimmy Merleau almost spun out. He got it going and we avoided catastrophe. Shortly, rookie Dan Orchard came up on the outside of second place Donnie McDowell and pushed the Big Mac to second. Our current North American champ built up a nice lead, and Mark Jacob won the second heat race. Now let's see how they'll line up for the F2's North American Championship. Starting in third is Fenville, Michigan's Jimmy Merleau. He's very familiar with the boat that is sitting in the pole position.
Well, yeah, I owned that boat about a year ago or so, and Dan says, "Hey, I'd like to get in it," and we let him take it down to a race, and he got in it, and he wouldn't get out of it. He said, "How much do you want for it?" And so I sold it to him and yeah, I'm happy for him now. He's running good.
In second is our defending North American and Formula 2 Series champ Mark Jacob. He knows the guy on the pole is tough to pass.
Well, he's definitely got the equipment for the rough water more than I do, but I hope I can get off the dock better than him and beat him down to the first turn. And that's all you can do is hope. He was on the pole for the first heat and spun there, so there's always a chance that could happen again.
And on the pole is rookie sensation Dan Orchard. Our lone Canadian in the fleet knows the competition is fierce.
It's really tough competition, but it's tough competition that I've never raced against before. So when you don't know exactly what the drivers are going to do from race to race, it's always different. So it'll be a tiptoe through the first turn, give them a lot of space, and hopefully they'll give me a lot too.
Now here's the rest of the starting lineup for the Formula 2 North American Championship. Last year's winner in Pittsburgh, Jeff the Jet Reno, is starting fourth. Orlando, Florida's Donnie McDowell is starting fifth on the dock. Tampa, Florida's Terry Rinker has the Amsoil boat in sixth. The General Lee Daniel from North Augusta, South Carolina is seventh. Rookie Jim McGrath and the Valvoline boat are eighth. The Wolfman Barry Wolf from Quincy, Ohio is ninth. And our lone female driver, Stacy Funk, will start 10th. Dale Book had trouble and will not start the race. The same goes for Bedford, Texas's Ruben Asensio. They've run out of room on the shoreline here in Pittsburgh with the hundreds of thousands that have turned out. Grab a friend, grab a drink, grab a flotation device. The Formula 2 North American Championships from Pittsburgh are next.
This segment of Powerboat Superleague Racing is brought to you by GoPro HD Hero Cameras. Be a hero.
Welcome back to the North Shore of Pittsburgh as the 2010 EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta is in full swing. And you can see, race fans, there isn't a square to spare in the grass or anywhere along the shoreline here on the Allegheny because the Formula 2 North American Championship is just seconds away. One last look at our starting lineup. The Canadian, the rookie sensation Dan Orchard is on top but look at the list of qualified drivers right next to him, ready to take the title of North American champion. Waiting for the start now, and the green flag flies, and the Formula 2s once again are racing in Pittsburgh. Side by side, they come to the commitment buoy. Riding along with Donnie McDowell, we see Mark Jacob moving up, and here comes Dan Orchard, and whoa, he narrowly makes it onto the course as they fly down the backstretch now, heading to turn 3, 4, 5 wide, heading into turn 3. Something's going to have to give here. Whoa, there goes Jimmy Merleau coming down on Dan Orchard, and if they didn't make contact, gang, they had to have swapped phone numbers because there were inches apart there. Oh, and Mark Jacob almost blows over. Mark Jacob, our leader, almost ended his race before it even started. And there goes our defending North American champion into turn 1 with the fleet coming up on him like heat-seeking missiles. Out of turn 2 now, we ride along with Dan Orchard. He's in a battle with Jimmy Merleau on the outside for second. The two rookie drivers in Powerboat Superleague are side by side now coming down the backstretch. Riding alongside inside the cockpit with Dan Orchard as they fly into turn 3. Early race excitement here in Pittsburgh as we see the fleet move through turns 3 and 4 again, and Dan Orchard is trying to use that inside line to get by Jimmy Merleau, his fellow rookie, for that second place spot, but Jimmy Merleau will have none of that. He hits the throttle as we watch our leader, Mark Jacob, head into turn 1. There goes Jimmy Merleau, followed by Dan Orchard. Riding along with Dan Orchard, you can see we have no space for anything inside these cockpits. Now they fly down the backstretch. Mark Jacob trying to take advantage of the smooth water here in Pittsburgh early because this place is going to turn into a blender quickly. Everybody knows the Allegheny. Oh no, third place driver Dan Orchard's out of the race. He's pulled off the race course. He's off the course. He's off the course out in turn 3s and 4s. We see PNC Park go by in the background. Not sure what's going on with the 97 boat, but our pole sitter is out of the race, off the pace, moved to the outside as boat after boat move by him and move him back in the pack. He's heading to the pits. We'll find out what's going on. Jimmy Merleau doesn't care. He's in second. That's all behind him. Don't be fooled by that R next to Jimmy Merleau's name, gang. He's a rookie in Powerboat Superleague Formula 2 competition. This is his first race with the Superleague in the F2s. However, he is a veteran driver and has raced his Optimax powered engine in other series around the United States. As we watch our pole sitter, rookie Dan Orchard, move to the pits. We're hearing he's having fuel system troubles, so hopefully he can get that fixed and get back out on the course. Meanwhile, there's our second place driver, Jimmy Merleau, now starting to pick up the pace, starting to harass Mark Jacob for the lead as they fly down the backstretch and into turn 3. Up on board with Jimmy Merleau, the Fenville, Michigan native, now harassing our leader as our leader goes wide out of 3 and 4. That could play into Merleau's favor. And it does, and Merleau flies wide out of turn 4. He's looking to pick up some momentum. He's going to go nose to nose with the leader as they pass under the Fort Duquesne Bridge. Mark Jacob retains the lead narrowly, but Jimmy Merleau, you can see he's using every inch of real estate out there on the track, trying to round around those corners and keep the momentum going as he comes out of turn 2. Jacob hits the throttle, as does Merleau. And back in third place, we find a familiar boat to fans of boat racing here in Pittsburgh, the checkered snout of Donnie McDowell, the Big Mac, heading down the backstretch as we ride on board. Donnie McDowell finished second here in Pittsburgh last year. He's looking to move one more slot up on that podium and get the top spot, earn the title of North American champion. And everybody in Pittsburgh knows this guy, gang. You know him, you love him. He's our defending race winner here at the EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta. Jeff the Jet Reno currently in fourth. So we have a battle for the lead happening on the backstretch. Jimmy Merleau has moved alongside of Mark Jacob. Merleau on the outside, Mark Jacob on the inside, battling for the lead as they head into turn 3. Jacob carries some extra momentum through, and Merleau slingshots around on the outside, uses the outside groove and hits the throttle, engages the flux capacitor, and away he goes. Jimmy Merleau, your new leader in Pittsburgh. As I said, race fans, Jimmy Merleau is using every inch of real estate out there, using the outside groove. Mark Jacob got caught up in turn 3. Merleau just shot right around him, and here he is, the leader of the race for the North American Championship here in Pittsburgh. The Fenville, Michigan native, Jimmy Merleau, driving for Granger Chevrolet, outside of turn 3 now, as we see our second place driver, Mark Jacob, our defending North American champion, struggling now, lifting the boat up way out of the water, trying to do everything he can to catch up to that first place boat of Jimmy Merleau. Mark Jacob finished third here in Pittsburgh last year. He does not want a repeat of that. He wants to move up in the bracket, as does this guy, the Big Mac, Donnie McDowell out of Orlando, Florida. He finished second here last year. He wants first, and he's doing everything he can. Local connection to Donnie McDowell, his crew chief, Rocky Hill, is from nearby Export, PA. So this is the team's hometown races. He's trying to keep ahead of this guy. Jeff the Jet Reno in fourth. Don't count him out, gang. As boat racing fans of Pittsburgh know, he started dead last on the dock last year with 10 laps to go. Blew by Donnie McDowell, blew by Mark Jacob, took the lead, and wound up winning the race last year here in Pittsburgh. But now we catch up with our leader, Jimmy Merleau, and he doesn't seem to be running at full song. He looks like he's slowed down a little bit. And gang, you don't want to do that, because here comes Mark Jacob on the outside. Battle for the lead coming out of turn 4. Merleau on the inside, Jacob on the outside. Something's wrong with Merleau, because here comes Mark Jacob. Jacob's got the throttle mashed, and Mark Jacob is going to retake the lead here in Pittsburgh. Mark Jacob moves the familiar red 7 back into first place as we see Jimmy Merleau move to the outside. He's still in the race, but he's moved off the course, off the pace. He's riding the outside rim right now. Not sure what's gone wrong with the 69 boat, but he is struggling to make it around the race course. We'll be checking in with the pits to see what's gone wrong with the 97 boat, and we'll also check in to see what's happening with the 69 boat as Jimmy Merleau continues to struggle around this race course. He's lost position after position as this guy, Mark Jacob, has shot out with the lead, looking to retain the title of North American champion. And while he does, we're going to take a break. Jacob, McDowell, Reno, Terry Rinker, and Jimmy Merleau are your top 5. More Formula 2 racing, the Powerboat Superleague from the EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta, right after this.
This segment of Powerboat Superleague Racing is brought to you by Rivers Casino. Table games are here.
Welcome back to Powerboat Superleague's Formula 2 feature race here at the 2010 EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta. There's your leader, Mark Jacob. He took the lead back from Jimmy Merleau on lap 10 and has not looked back. Speaking of Jimmy Merleau and Dan Orchard, both of those boats had to leave the race early due to fuel system problems. In fact, fuel was leaking into the cockpit and the fumes were giving the drivers problems, so they had to retire from the race. Both drivers are A-OK. And we catch up with our 6th place driver, Barry Wolf, out of Quincy, Ohio. And coming alongside of him is our 4th place driver, Tampa, Florida's Terry Rinker, driver of that Amsoil boat. Terry's a veteran driver. He has earned numerous championships with other racing series. He's trying to earn his first Powerboat Superleague title here in 2010. Now, he's familiar with Victory Lane here in Pittsburgh, guys. He won here in 2005. And he's moving away from our 6th place boat, Barry Wolf. And coming up alongside of Barry Wolf is our leader, Mark Jacob. Jacob is our defending North American champion, as well as our defending Formula 2 Series champion here with Powerboat Superleague. And he follows a very simple strategy when it comes to racing. Get out in front, plant that throttle, and don't look back. Now we catch up with our 5th place driver, a brand new driver to Powerboat Superleague, Jim McGrath out of Deerfield Beach, Florida. Jim comes from the Arena Cross ranks, but he's traded the 2-wheel excitement of motorcycle racing for the no-wheel excitement of powerboat racing, and he's doing well in his first race with Superleague, especially on a course like Pittsburgh. Nothing like picking one of the most challenging race courses on the circuit to start your career. Now, McGrath is 2 laps down, and the last boat on the lead lap is that 10 boat of Terry Rinker coming up on the outside there. So while this isn't a battle for position, Rinker would like to get McGrath behind him, because behind them they have the leader, Mark Jacob, and Rinker does not want to go a lap down. We've got to spin. We've got to spin in turn 2. Jeff Reno has spun in turn 2. Now, he got the boat going again, gang, but man, he lost some valuable time trying to catch up to Donnie McDowell. Let's ride on board with Jeff Reno and see what happened. Here he comes into turn 1. Looks like he just released a little bit. The rear end comes around, and there he is. Luckily, he did not stall the boat. He was able to get back out on the course, avoid contact with any other boat or a buoy, and keep going. Jeff Reno, a fan favorite here in Pittsburgh, is known for his aggressive driving style, and it almost got the best of him there. Everyone on the North Shore took a collective gasp when that happened, but luckily Reno was able to get back in it. Reno, like everyone else in the fleet, is trying to catch up to this guy. Mark Jacob, our leader, has checked out. Now he's in a different zip code than Donnie McDowell, Jeff Reno, and Terry Rinker, everyone else in the field. He took the lead on lap 10 from Jimmy Merlou, hasn't looked back. He knows better than to let up whenever you have a past champion like Donnie McDowell. And of course, Jeff the Jet, always dangerous to win. You got those guys riding behind you. You can't let up for a second. Mark is trying to complete a fantastic weekend of racing. His wife, Tammy, finished third in the F3 feature earlier on in the show. And man, he's looking to take home once again that North American Championship as he has the yellow boat of Terry Rinker in his sights now. Terry's the last boat on the lead lap, riding in fourth. He's now in turn one with Barry Wolf on the outside. Whoa, Terry has some turn one, over he goes! Terry Rinker in the water. Turn one, caution is out. And Terry Rinker rolled the boat over, trying to get away from Mark Jacob. Let's take another look, see what happened there. Terry goes in, gets a little squirrely, and over he goes. Now we're hearing he's out of the boat, thumbs up, he's A-OK, moving to the safety boat. We'll ride on board here and see how it all happens. Whoa, you can see just how fast it happens there, race fans, in the blink of an eye as we ride on back. Over he goes. We go from blue sky to the green water of the Allegheny. Once again, Terry Rinker's okay. We'll get things lined back up when we come back to Pittsburgh right after this.
The 2010 EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta's presentation of Powerboat Superleague Racing was brought to you by EQT, where energy meets innovation. Rivers Casino, table games are here. By ISM USA, a national leader in sports, event, and cause marketing. And by La Roche College, learning that brings your world together.
Welcome back to Pittsburgh. With safety concerns, including diminished visibility, race officials made the tough decision to call the race at lap 20. And Mark Jacob is your winner and retains the North American Championship. He and his wife Tammy, who finished third in the F3 race, took the victory lap. We checked in with Terry Rinker when he was out of the water.
Yeah, everything's fine. The rescue and the safety equipment we have on board does its job, and gives me the opportunity to stay calm and get myself out without trying too hard to get out and hurt myself getting out.
Well, it's good to see Terry is okay. Since Jim McGrath was 2 laps down, Rinker held on to the 4th place slot despite causing the caution. Mike has caught up with our 3rd place finisher. Mike.
Thanks, Jared. Jeff Reno, 3rd place this year. You had a 1st place last year. Different conditions this year as well. And then also had that rollover by number 10, Terry Rinker. And, man, if it had a restart, do you think you could have got to the front?
Well, I think I had a real good chance. The 2 boats that were ahead of me were the 2 that I passed on the last few laps last year, so I think I could have really got them. And the worst part of this is my wife got 2nd place yesterday, and I get talked at all the way home.
Yeah, something tells me that Mrs. Reno is going to make that trip back to Florida a tough one for Mr. Reno. Jim McGrath, Barry Wolf, and Stacy Funk all had solid days of racing on the Allegheny. Now Mike has a familiar face in the 2nd place slot. Mike.
Thanks, Jared. Standing here with the Big Mac, Donnie McDowell. Donnie, rough conditions out there, but coming home in 2nd place and arguably the biggest race of the year has got to feel good.
Yeah, it's back. It feels good to be back at Pittsburgh. We came in 2nd here last year, runner-up again this year. We're going to keep working at it till we improve one more spot anyway.
Well, congratulations on a great 2nd place victory. We'll see you in 2011.
Yeah, we'll be here and going strong, and we'll be happy to come back and see all the fine folks in Pittsburgh.
Thanks, guys. We turn our eyes to the F2 Championship points, and Mark Jacob is on top again. But this is the first race of the season, and we'll have to watch for Jimmy Merlou and Dan Orchard to come back strong. Now Mike is with our champion. Mike.
Thanks, Jared. Standing here with Mark Jacob, the man of the hour, the brand new North American champion, and the brand new 2010 EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta champion. Mark, yesterday your wife Tammy came home in 3rd place, but a little one-upmanship this afternoon for you.
Yeah, just a little bit. I just can't believe we came home and come home first. Man, it just feels great to win here, and I didn't think I could do it, and I was actually disappointed that they made this the North American Championships this year. So I'm just really excited to have won it.
Well, ended up last year the Super League champion, and now starting off 2010, you're going to be in the points lead again. You're going to be the man with the target on the back that everybody's going to be shooting for.
Yeah, I really try not to count my chickens before they hatched, but and get excited about the rest of the year. Just take it one race at a time. But this is a good way to start off.
Thanks, guys. Well, once again, hundreds of thousands of fans came to Pittsburgh, and the EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta and Powerboat Superleague did not disappoint. Whether it was on the water, on the land, or in the sky, fun was had by all. Brent Dillard took off with the lead and won the F3 North American Championship. And Mark Jacobs survived the F2 race to hold on to his title as North American Champion. We leave you now with images from the EQT Flashes of Freedom Fireworks Fantasia. For Mike Tilton, the award-winning production crew, and everyone with Powerboat Superleague, I'm Jared Romsberg. Thank you, Pittsburgh. Until next year, race fans, we'll see you on the water.